Hello and welcome.
I see snap.
Today we're diving into the weird and wonderful world of 21 Pilots, a duo that looks like they could have been crafting their work since 2009, blending alternative rock, pop, rap, hip-hop and electronic music into a genre-defining smoothie that will leave you sometimes craving more. Their breakout album Vessel, released in 2013, this album introduced us to Tyler's poetic lyrics and Josh's explosive drumming, a therapy session set to music. Then came Blurry Face in 2015, an album where Tyler decided to face his insecurities head on by creating a dark alter ego by the name of, you guessed it, Blurry Face. This album had it all. Existential dread, catchy lyrics, and enough ukulele to make that one guy who sang Over the Rainbow jealous. Then in 2018 they dropped their album Trench, an album that took you on a cryptic journey through the dystopian world of Dima, and critically acclaimed by everyone as being one of their best. Tunes that make you want to dance and cry simultaneously. Now back with their newest album Clancy, or Clancy, whatever. Clancy being part of the lore that surrounds the band, and this character being kind of like a protagonist to the album. I'm going to be honest, I don't follow the 21 Pilots lore, or am I much of an avid listener, and I'm not like a diehard super fan or anything. So this is kind of a tough one because the singles following up this album's release seem to be setting them on the path of Trench 2, or so they were saying. People getting excited obviously. But honestly I find it a bit of a mess, a bit hit and miss, and with such a promising start. With the album's opener Overcompensate starting off with Linkin Park vibes as, you know, 21 Pilots often do, mixing up some genres, but I was really feeling like a bit of a Prodigy vibe, which if the whole album was like that, I'd be happy. Super tight, heavy drums, not just on this song, but throughout the whole album, which I think for 21 Pilots is quite standard. This song also feeling really well mixed, sitting really nice with the bass, and these Linkin Park synths you hear throughout the chorus. Lyrically okay, I feel like they're quite confusing, unless you really know much about their lore. Saying that though, they are still quite enjoyable, like you don't need to know it specifically. A huge change from here with Next Semester, feeling like that noughties indie akin to Two Door Cinema Club or something, feeling quite underwhelming compared to Overcompensate. Melodically, a little bit stale, but still quite good. Feeling slightly generic, but saying that, I don't hate it, I quite like it. It's just kind of like meh. Ending on this nice little ukulele and vocal, quite sweet I might say. But this same sound carries on throughout the album through various songs like Navigating and Midwest Indigo. Midwest Indigo giving me kind of like Churches vibes with that sort of 80s retro futuristic synth. But from here nothing really interesting happens unfortunately, which is a shame because I actually really enjoyed the lyrics on this song with the vocal melody, albeit a bit cheesy both of them. But you know, there's nothing wrong with a bit of cheese every now and then, but everything else was quite forgettable. And I think leading the album with the 3 singles they released is a really ballsy move. After Backslide, things start to slide back just a little bit. It basically just falls in quality, I think. But Backslide actually being a bit of a tune, great instrumental, all the elements really working like well-oiled cogs, beautiful mix, nice drums, and this piano bringing the last part of the song together with this nice little instrumental that comes in. Vocals were also great and these really nice melodies. I think overall one of the better songs on the album. I think that's mostly the issue with this album as a whole, is it's sheer just mid-value. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. Something that wouldn't offend you playing in the background, but wouldn't stop you in your tracks to make you listen either. Which is, yeah, unfortunate. For example, like Routines in the Night, seeing me just lose interest not long after it starts. Really played out vocal melodies at this point. Chords, instrumentation feeling really safe. And this carries on through songs like Lavish, feeling somewhat disconnected from the album, and instrumentally feeling a bit like an afterthought. Adding to this, Craving, Jenna's version. I think a bit of a funny poke at Taylor Swift here. I kind of get the vibe they were going for with this song, but I can't really put my finger on it. It just doesn't speak to me. Like, I don't really find it that interesting or that good. I'm not sure if it's his vocals or the guitar. It just, yeah, I'm just not feeling it, unfortunately. Coming to the last part of the album now, Snapback having this really dreamy synth to lead you off into quite a nice instrumental, and I quite like this detuned guitar that comes in part way. The moments that felt a kind of a bit busy, but I think that helped with having such a good mix throughout the song. Fix it in post, right? Leading off of this to Oldies Station. In terms of mix, I really like it. It's very clean, but instrumentally I found it quite dull. When I say it has a good mix, I mean everything fits, everything sits well, everything sounds nice and clear, right? I mean, that's not always what you want, but generally that's what I mean. But on this song, the instrumentation, even though it's a good mix, is quite dull. Even this MGMT style synth that comes in, just feeling soulless and kind of bland. Overall, a really underwhelming song again, and this is pretty much the whole of the last 3 songs. At risk of sounding dumb, feeling rehashed, and then Paladin Strait starting off quite strong with this detuned synth, drums all heading towards this sea of sound, which I thought was quite good, and then just crashes to the sound of nature, which I actually liked, but then all of a sudden they bring in the ukulele and his vocals. Just leave it out, end with that voice right after, and then that pitched down sort of scary voice at the end. Like, I would have had it more narrative feeling with the sound of like the window closing, shutting off the sounds of nature, shutting yourself off, and then bringing in the voice, you know, that feeling of isolation, I guess. I don't know, I think that might have worked well. What do I know? The album isn't great, but it's not that bad either. I want to say it's okay. Being teased as like Trench 2, what did you expect? From the singles, hopes were high, and I'm sure diehard fans will love this album because it's not their worst. And as I say, the album isn't that bad. The album has bits and pieces that were great, but surrounded by meh, or songs that were just lacking a bit of that oomph, you know what I mean? I think this is a good example of saying like a mix doesn't necessarily make something more interesting or better, it just makes it sound cleaner sometimes. But anyway, saying that, I think I would give this album a 5.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you liked it down below, and yeah, hopefully catch you on the next one. Thank you so much, and goodbye.